Good morning. Decided to come for a swim. Do my video. So, what I'm going to talk about today is not so much the team, but what we need to remember about the owners and where we were. Like we are in a bit of that result the other day kind of knocked a bit of confidence out, as you know, there's no doubt about that. But I take myself back to those horrible days 14 years ago, 13 years ago, when this idiot out of nowhere came in, Craig Whyte. He destroyed us with the help of David Murray. Now, I don't like talking about David Murray because David Murray did what David Murray did. You know, he gave us trophies, but he caused this, and I know that will cause controversy in the comments. And I know there is the argument, well, would you not back all those 9 in a row? You're like that. Well, who's to say that if he had done things differently, we wouldn't have got the 9 in a rows? Anyway, but see, when you're in a downer or that about Rangers, remember the BAMs from Greenock. Charles Green and his mental statements, and remember the Sheffield United fans warned us about him. Now, despite what people will tell you, we're owned by something like the 8th richest franchise in world sports, not just American, in world sports, you know. And I know there's people say, well, look at the accounts, we're 50 minutes in debt. Come on, man. Think about it. You know, we're in a good place. We don't need to worry about money ever again like we did before. Because before the Americans came in, genuinely, and I'm not just saying this, I was going to shut down this page. Some of you know Kirsten on Twitter. Probably knows football better than anyone I know. I've always got on with Kirsten. I'd said to her, she's always been a positive person around the Rangers. She knows football. She likes her soap operas, etc., and her horse racing. But I said to her, the day before the news broke that America was coming, I said, Kirsten, we're in trouble here. I see no light at the end of the tunnel. And she was like that. She agreed. And I was genuinely, and I'm not just saying this for any likes or clicks or you know, to show off, I guess. I was just going to shut the page down. I wasn't going to say goodbye that. I was ready to press click. And then I think I went out someone, I come back, and the phone was beeping away. We're getting taken over by Americans. Obviously, I Googled it first because we've heard all this before then. I was like, wow. And we are where we are now. So what, my basically, I'm saying, you know, when something brushes past you, when you're in the water, it just happened, as you can hear my voice. There's take yourself back to those horrible Charles Green days. The 2 BAMs from Greenock who are still unfortunately shareholders, but I know they're successful businessmen, but they weren't the type of character we really wanted to be running Rangers, and they were soon told us. Mike Ashley, and the Rangers fans did well getting rid of him. You know, we boycotted the shirts, etc., etc., etc. That was great, the Rangers fans. I just think, I'm just trying to spin a little positivity around what's happening right now. I know that tomorrow we've got Dundee United, but just take a second and just take yourself back to those dark days. We're past that. That can't happen again. You know, and people have said stuff along the lines of, the 49ers or sellers. I even had one guy say on the page, within 2 or 3 days, no, that's wrong. It was within a month of the page of the 49ers taking over. Oh, I know for a fact they're already planning their exit strategy. And you're like, oh, come on, man, get a grip, you know. And here's another thing that just came to me. The owner, the 49ers, the family that own 90%, the son Jeb, he's been over. He would have actually probably given Kavanagh a bit of a not a bollocking, what I said, look, we need to do better here, but I've got your back as in the family, you know. And same to Parry, he'll have told him the same, look, I've got your back here, because he runs 49ers operations. I did a bit of chat GPT before I came out about that. So Rangers off the field were safe. You know, and we were in a dire state. I saw absolutely no light at the end of the tunnel when before the 49ers came in that day. We had a lot of false dawns. This isn't a false dawn off the field. Listen, I know there's questions from many people about Danny Röhl. Some of you are rightly are not sure about him, and that's a positive thing to question. We should always question. I'm 100% behind him, and I know I'll get abuse for that because I said, and I didn't say that about Martin. I looked at it from the owner's point of view with Martin, but anyway, I don't like talking about that person for obvious reasons. But me as Frankie, I'm not looking at it from the owner's point of view here. I'm looking at it from my point of view. I think Danny's got it, and the reason is because the German national team, Bayern Munich, don't employ people in powerful positions, which he was in, at their clubs. And people say, oh, he wasn't the manager. I know he wasn't the manager, but he had the manager's ears at those clubs. And they wouldn't have someone at the club, at the German national team and Bayern Munich, unless they thought he had something to offer, and he did. You try and find anything negative about Danny Röhl online, you can't. Whereas with Poobag Magoo, the haircut guru, there was loads. We had loads of warning signs. Now, tomorrow, on to young Finn Curtis, and I mentioned this last night in an actual post. We've been told that he had an injury, and I'm just wondering the reason he's not getting games is because we're just protecting him. You know, I mean, we don't know what the type of injury is unless somebody in the comments can tell us what the injury was. So maybe we're just protecting him a little bit. But if he's on the bench, and I know, and it is, if he's on the bench, he should be fit to play. But it depends on the minutes. And remember, we've got sports science experts, etc., etc. The doctors will say, no, listen, you know. Because I remember watching if you've ever watched The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan thing, that was a big thing. Great series. I love it. I've watched it 3 or 4 times. I remember when he first started with the Bulls, it's in the video how the doctor said he could only play like 12 minutes a game and stuff like that. That's the kind of accuracy these guys run on. So that's the way I'm seeing it with Finn Curtis. There's maybe something along those lines, you know. But why not? If he's all right, either start him, like give him the first 45 minutes, or bring him on for the last half hour in the game. You know, that's the way we're looking at it. But again, we don't know what's happening on and off the pitch. You know, this sport's crystal clear. It's glorious, but we don't know what's happening. You know, we want to know information left, right, and centre. There is people out there, fans that are just brilliant. Like I always say, go to the Rangers Journal. Those guys their stat guys are fantastic. You know, and they do a great job, and they're flying up the numbers and whatnot. And they were good enough to have me on their podcast, which was great. But yeah, it's just remember, we were in a terrible place financially till the Americans came along. And we've got to thank Mr. Dave King, and the person that goes unnoticed a lot of the time is Paul Murray. He doctored this. He arranged this. Oh, there's a fish jumping. That means something's chasing it. That means... what was I trying to say? That fish just scared my train of thought. Oh, Jaws is coming. I can hear the dun, 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 dun. No, but Paul Murray, we've got a lot to thank that man for, because it was him that put Dave King in touch with the Americans, Mr. Kavanagh, etc., etc., etc. Remember, there's a lot of people that we don't mention that are on the board. You know, I would have written their names down, but being up to my neck in this lovely warm water at 9 in the morning, I couldn't bring it. I couldn't bring paper out because, for obvious reasons. But just when it gets a bit, that's what I do. That's my kind of go-to at the moment, to kind of just remind myself where we could be. Because if they hadn't come in, God knows where we would be. You know, I mean, there is an argument somebody else might have come in. I know there was other people looking at us, but for the 8th richest people in the world in sports to buy us, be involved with us, you know. And I know there's arguments from the small teams in Scotland that say, but they don't own you. It's not them that are giving you the money. It is, you know, and the main thing is they're not going to let us fail financially. These guys don't do that because it's embarrassing for them, as Mr. Kavanagh's been embarrassed by Stewart and Thelwell, you know. And he said, again, I say it all the time, he said, I'll not get that wrong again, we've learned. So we're in a good place. It's been a bit of a false start. There's no doubt about that, you know. But to have them on board, we're lucky as anything, you know. They make everyone else in Scotland, even I wouldn't say the UK, but you know, I mean, we're by far the richest team in Scotland by whatever. I mean, I'm lucky if I can count to 10. Never mind the buildings. And remember, the 49ers sold what was it, 8% of their organisation for something like $8 billion. That's just frightening to me, you know. You'll be good to know, I've just realised I forgot to put sunblock on, so there may be quite a good if I do go live tonight, which I probably will. You can see some cracking sunburn with the shades on, you know, the thing. But this water's lovely, and it's amazing how it warms up so quickly. There's actually, you can see the penthouse up there is for sale. It's massive. It's on some of the, and it's a whole top floor. It looks absolutely amazing. But anyway, I diverse. So I'm going to walk back in. I'll get my towel on my bike. Then I'm just going to go home, edit the video, crash out for a few hours because that's what I tend to do. But remember, we're in a good place, owned by business people that know how to run a sports organisation. Yes, there's difference between American sports and football in our country, but they'll learn quickly because they're intelligent people. And again, Mr. Cavanagh has said so, you know. So, onwards and upwards. It's been a bit of a dodgy start, but they'll sort it. And I hope you all have a great day. I'm having a lovely morning here, as you can see. And thank you, as always, for listening if you've come this far. Cheers.